legal documents she needs. Joining me now is Matt Guttman from Guttman Law. He is the gentleman that I turned to when I needed an estate plan after my divorce. Now, Matt, this is probably like 10, 12 years ago that we have known each other. And Matt's just done such a good job for me. And he's so kind and caring that when I saw this about what legal documents we need, I said, Matt, you got to tell us parents, what we need to get before we send our kids to fly the coop. So, Matt Guttman, welcome to the program.
Hi, Jordana. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. Thanks for working with me and doing my estate plan for my kids. But the kids need different stuff. When you and I met 12 years ago, post-divorce, they needed different things. Now I am sending my oldest off to college. You know her. And came across this article, 3 critical legal documents every parent of a college student should get in place as soon as possible. And the first one, Matt, if we could go through them, it'd be super helpful. The first one is a HIPAA authorization form. You know, you think you're sending your kid off to college. It's still your kid. You're still paying, yet legally they're adults. So what's the gray middle ground that the parents need here?
Well, first, congratulations to your daughter, and Madison's great, so that's terrific.
Yes, thank you.
The thing is that even though you're supporting an 18-year-old, and they're still your child and they'll always be your child, once they turn 18, they're an adult in the eyes of the law. So you can't make decisions for them anymore unless they give you authorization and power to do so. And
that seems crazy to me.
It's crazy to a lot of people.
I wish they'd be paying their own cell phone bill if they're legally an adult, but, I guess that doesn't happen for a little while.
Maybe not for a long while, I guess.
Yeah. So what do I have to do to get this HIPAA authorization form?
Okay, well, HIPAA authorization is something you could download from the internet, or you could go see an estate planning attorney. A HIPAA authorization allows the people named to find out about the individual's medical records and medical care. It's really access to information. And really, once someone turns 18, mom and dad or parents are just not in a position to find out about things. So we always tell people when you have a child who's turning 18, it's a good idea to check in with your estate planning attorney at that point.
Okay. And they can help you out with this. And then once you have the HIPAA authorization in place, does that mean, if there's an issue at the college or that they can talk to you directly as well about your kid?
Well, they can talk to you about medical records, but if your child is in a different state like Wisconsin or New York or anywhere else, if they're in a different state, you're going to need documents that would allow you to find out about information and also make decisions. So in addition to the HIPAA authorization, you're going to want what we call in Minnesota an advanced healthcare directive.
Okay, so tell me about that. That seems like not something an 18-year-old would need, but I guess so.
Well, yeah. So an advanced healthcare directive is a 2-part document. In the first part, it allows the person to designate who would make medical decisions for them if they couldn't. So it's really based upon incapacity, meaning that 2 doctors say that you're not able to make your own decisions. And everyone over the age of 18, whether you're 18 or 100, you should have a healthcare directive. Right. And because if not, then you won't have people in place to make medical decisions for you. And this is crucial when you're sending your kid off to school. If something happens and they can't make medical decisions, if they're in an accident or they have a medical issue, without this document, you're going to have a real tough time making decisions for them, and you might end up having to go to court to get that power.
Wow. Okay. All right. So that's an important one. It's an advanced healthcare directive or healthcare power of attorney. That's the same thing?
Well, in Minnesota, we call it an advanced healthcare directive. The healthcare power of attorney or a living will, those documents kind of were replaced in Minnesota with an advanced healthcare directive. So that's what we call it here, but different states call it different things. So it's a good idea to get an advanced healthcare directive if you live in Minnesota and you're sending your kids out of town, or even if you're sending them to the U, you should have these documents in place.
And Matt, do we need you to do that? Do we need to go through a lawyer for that, or is that also downloadable?
So I always tell people it's a good idea to talk to an attorney because, you want the documents done right. So if you're doing this, it's true. You can definitely download that document from the internet. But if you want to make sure it's right and you have a trusted advisor or a trusted professional who helped you with your own estate plan, it's really a good idea to go back there and say, well, now my little girl is now 18 and we need to have these documents. And they know about your family, they know about your situation, and they can help guide that now 18-year-old young adult to making decisions and saying who they want making decisions for them if they can't.
Okay, good to be thinking about that, even starting at 18. The third document I'm reading here is called a General Durable Power of Attorney. This isn't about health care. Is this about finances?
Yes, actually, it's about finance and legal decisions. So you mentioned earlier that, you send your kids off to school and you are likely paying the bills and supporting them, but you actually have no access to information. So your kids might have always looked at you and said, Mom, I need help with something. Can you talk to the school? Can you talk to my landlord? Can you talk to people? And without the general durable power of attorney, you can't. No one's going to listen. Well, they might, but it depends how persuasive you are. But they're not going to listen. And if you had a situation with school and there was a problem and your daughter needed your help, having the durable power of attorney in hand and being able to fax that or email that to the school will get you access to, the school records, the finance, the meal plan, whatever you need help, whatever your daughter needs help or your child needs help for, that document will give you the access you need to help.
So, all right, Matt, now I'm looking down the nose of a lot of bills. And by the way, I'm speaking with Matt Guttman, who is the proprietor of Guttman Law. And if I come to you and I say, all right, Matt, I want a HIPAA authorization form. I want this healthcare power of attorney. I know they call it different things here. And this general durable power of attorney. Is this going to cost me a fortune for you to do and help us out with?
Generally speaking, it shouldn't cost more than a couple $100. And it depends on what else is going on. If you have a relationship with an estate planning attorney, sometimes they'll even reach out to you and remind you, hey, your child just turned 18. It might be a good idea to do this. And the other side of it is you might, when your kids reach 18, you might start reevaluating your own plan. So I don't know that you're going to spend a lot on it, but it's really a good idea. And it's the kind of thing that if you have a relationship with an estate planning attorney, it shouldn't cost you a whole lot to do.
Looks like I will be calling your assistant to set up an appointment because you and I do need to reconcile some documents. Matt Guttman from Guttman Law. I do read your spots, so you can reach him at mnestatelaw.com or you can give him a buzz at 612-895-1616. He does my legal work. So, Matt, you and I will be seeing each other in person or maybe over the phone very soon, my friend.
Thanks, Jordana. I appreciate it. Take care.
You got it. Thanks for walking us through this. Yeah, HIPAA authorization, healthcare power of attorney, and general durable power of attorney. It's what you need as a parent.